Hello, I'm Edward Tarte, once a Catholic priest for 5 years in the 1960s, now an atheist, which means I find no credible evidence for the existence of any God. This is the 46th in my series of weekly videos for friendlyatheist.com. In this video, I'm going to explain why, if a person is considering entering a seminary, I recommend that the person not do so. I entered St. Mary's Seminary in Houston, Texas in September 1957 with the intention of becoming a Catholic priest. Starting then, I was in the seminary for 6 school years, and that led to my becoming a Catholic priest in May 1963. On that occasion, I made a solemn promise to God that I would remain an active priest for the rest of my life. But 5 years later, I broke that promise with no sense of guilt, leaving the priesthood in May 1968. In several videos in this series, I make it very clear that I consider my decision to enter the seminary to have been one of the worst decisions of my life. Some of those video titles are Edward Tarte Tries to See the Reality of His Seminary Years. Edward Tarte discusses his Catholic seminary's prayer regimen. Edward Tarte's Seminary Memories Benediction. Edward Tarte Causes Controversy in Seminary School. You can watch some of those videos. I invite you to do it. The most basic reason that I should not have entered the seminary, and why I recommend against others doing so, is that in a seminary you study an entity, a God, for which there is no credible evidence of its existence, and you study it assuming that it exists. If you study physics or chemistry or biology or geology or law or literature or history or government or a foreign language, you are studying something that is grounded in reality. What you are studying is based on evidence. But if you study what is studied in a seminary, namely theology, you are studying something for which credible evidence is lacking. In seminary study, faith is required. Faith is accepting things as true without evidence. Religious believers have been taught that faith is a virtue, but I, along with my fellow atheists, assert that faith is not a virtue. I will be blunt. My seminary study and indoctrination throughout those 6 school years was utter nonsense. 6 school years of studying nonsense. That nonsense included God, bread becoming the body of Jesus, heaven, hell, prayer, worship, original sin, the Bible as the Word of God, etc., etc., etc. And not just theoretical nonsense. Nonsense that harms women, harms gay people, harms poor people, harms people near the end of their life who are suffering, harms science, harms education. I speak from the Catholic perspective, but what I am saying applies in large measure to other religions also, other religious seminaries also. Seminary study prepares a person to waste most of the rest of his life. What a tragedy. So that is why I say emphatically, I do not think it is a good idea for a person to enter a seminary. I plan in next week's video to discuss leaving a seminary if you are already there. To all of you, thank you for watching this video.